Hi guys. So this morning I had seen that Andria had posted her first assignment in regards to her class tomorrow, which I am super excited about. It's all about speaking your truth and asking yourselves the very honest questions that can be difficult. So, I wanted to do this Facebook Live because, I was guided to do it this way. The first question she had asked that we ask ourselves is, what does it mean to make a commitment to yourself? Ironically, earlier this year, I had, it was during the Leo transit. I had began the journey of self-love. I've been subscribing to Chris Wojtecki's Serious Joy, which, I get updates on my phone daily and stuff like that, right? Okay, so he decided he was going to do a 40 days of self-love, which actually ended up turning into like 41 or 42, which was hilarious. But I had to ask myself some really, really honest questions and be completely honest, because when I'm not completely honest, it's only hindering myself. It's taking all those veils away and seeing myself for exactly who I am, and that's super important. So what does it mean to make a commitment to myself? To be completely honest with myself is what I've come to the conclusion, and to meet myself at where I am. Like, we do this with others, but can we do this with ourselves? Sometimes we have to sometimes we have to treat ourselves with kid gloves to get through certain obstacles and then show ourselves some tough love. There's variations with everything, and honoring who we are in the moment and what we're going through in the moment is super important. The second question that Andria had us ask ourselves is, if someone told you that only you have created and put yourself in every single moment of your day throughout your entire life, what would you say and how would you feel? So this question, I see where she's going with this, is we create our own reality. We create our own reality, and there's a reason for every single experience that we have. It's because somewhere in that we have created it. So sometimes we get in situations we don't like so much. Guess what? We created it. And I've had to come to that conclusion with certain things that I've gone through in my life. I just went through a divorce, different things in regards to relationships, and this is a major one having to do with relationships and other people. Is when we get in conflict, it's literally the conflict in our own selves, right? It's the conflict within our own selves, not necessarily just what's in front of us, because the root is ourself. And this is such an interesting, it's like, okay, let's recognize it and shift it. This is why we do the work we do, is because all of this work is for ourselves so that we can create a better reality for ourselves. So, the question is how do I feel about the reality that I've created. Now, at moments and times, I'm absolutely blissed out on the reality that I've created, and other times, it hurts. But guess what? You know what? I honor every single one of those realities that I've created. Why? Because they were major lessons for me. And it allows me to keep moving forward and allow my reality to be shifted as it needs to be. I am the type of person that I have absolutely no regrets in my life. That's how I operate. Every single thing happened in my life for a reason, and I honor it. I 100% honor every single reality that I've created because I want to learn from it. I want to learn from every single reality that I've created, even if it doesn't look so great, even if it's completely blissed out, even if it gets me to dark places. That's the contrast, and it's beautiful. All of it is beautiful. So, that's where I'm at with that is, and that kind of comes into the third question. What would it feel like to 110% release all expectations about yourself? I'm really at that point. And you know what? It's I like to look at it in this way. So, I'm Jewish, and the word Israel, okay? I don't know if you guys know the Bible at all, but Jacob, his name meant subplanter, deep-rooted, okay? His name was changed to Israel, which means one who wrestles with God, one who struggles with God. It shows that relationship of that tug of war, okay? And that is mirrored within our own self, right? That tug of war within ourself, which doesn't necessarily need to happen. We don't need that friction if we don't want it. But it's a nice contrast, right? Okay? So what I've had to really honor is that in moments in my life, I'm going to feel that struggle. I'm going to feel that Israel. But at other moments, I'm going to feel like I'm gliding through life, which is beautiful. But what's beautiful about it is when we completely take all expectations of what, we had for ourselves and maybe the future we wanted to create. Well, guess what? We don't know best sometimes, or do we? Because we are all one. See, we go back and forth between this macro and micro way of thinking, like in, out, which is totally fine. That's the kind of reality we want to create sometimes, right? But when we can truly say, make a conscious decision to say, I don't want any expectations. I want to detach from the situation and just go with the flow. It's super, super interesting. Observing, but still being in an active process. And, it allows ourselves to move and go with the path of least resistance, which is quite nice sometimes, because when we realize how energy works and we realize how the law of attraction is, it's less pain. But at the same time, we honor that pain when we do have it. It's so interesting. Just like loops. Then the fourth question was, what story have you been telling yourself and others, maybe for a while now, that doesn't bring you 110% joy? Why have you confirmed to tell it? Okay, Now, I try to be as honest as I can with myself. I'm not perfect. I'm human. And sometimes I can see, this is a difficult question. This is a very difficult question. You know, I think when we get wrapped up in life and we tend to like walk away from what our truth is. That is when the story that we're telling is not honoring ourselves and it's not honoring others. I'm a very truthful person, and I try to be honest with myself as much as I can. And sometimes I miss the mark, but I do my best. And like, it's an interesting concept. I think I'm gonna even meditate on this one even more, because I feel like the struggle, that Israel type of dynamic, like I looked this one over, and it's just like I still have work to do in this one, and I'm honoring that. I'm honoring that because that's where I'm at. That I can't necessarily answer that question with as much detail as I want, and that's okay, because this is a journey and it's not about a destination. So on my journey, it's about going deeper and deeper, like my Scorpio nature. So, I hope you guys are viewing this, because it keeps on saying low network connection and stuff like that, and I hope it's viewable later. Andria, thank you so much for creating this opportunity for us to have, to be completely honest with ourselves and with others, and allowing us to see the dynamic that we hold and the reality we are creating. Thank you so much. Love and light to everyone on here that watches it, and have a beautiful day.